Hey, this is Christian. So, last time we talked about how I felt trapped. I felt like whatever job I was working at was the best I could do, that I couldn't do any better. And I felt just too old, too washed up to even consider making a career change. I told myself that because I didn't graduate with a computer science degree right away, that there was no way I could ever become a software engineer. And so, one of the ways I want to get closer to becoming a software engineer is I have to prepare for interviews. It's a little bit early on, but I feel like some algorithm practice is going to go a long way. So what I did was I'm going to hackering.com and I'm going into their algorithm section. And for the next few months, I'll be solving some of their challenges. Right now, we're going to start with easy because my programming skills are really rusty right now. um, so we're gonna start with easy, and we want to progressively move up. Um, this is some subdomains they have. Later on we might specialize in these. I don't actually know how many there are or how many challenges there are, but yeah. So let's just get started. I'll probably do one or two different problems depending on how fast I finish them, but I really don't want to go over half an hour to an hour. All right, so I actually looked over this problem before I got on, and it's a very simple program. We're gonna be, oh, this one's different than the one I was looking at. Okay, so they're giving you an array of integers, and it looks like they just want us to get to the sum of every value of the array. So the example they give is the array contains values 1, 2, and 3, and then it's showing us adding together all these and then returning the final value. Um, yeah, so the constraints are we're going to be going from 0 to 1,000, so we can use variables of size integer. Okay, so the program I feel most comfortable using right now is Java, so that's what I'm going to be using. Okay, so something I like to do right away is I would like to write out some of the things I want my methods to include. So first we want to track, or sorry, we want a variable for the sum of the array values. Then we want a loop. Well, I guess we'll iterate through the array, because since we're going to be adding every value of the array, we have to go through and touch on each of the values of the array, which is what we use loops for. And then at the end, just return the sum of the array. Okay. So I use this as kind of an outline for my program, and so I don't forget anything. This is not a perfect outline. I guarantee you, probably 80% of the time I end up adding something else because I don't know, I just like to do this quickly so I can get started. All right, so we're tracking the sum of the array. So we're going to set its variable to 0. And then we're going to make a for loop to iterate through the array. And we're going to set it to stop at the end of the array. The reason we use .length is because once you say an array, we'll use this array for an example. This array is of size 3, right? And we have index 0, 1, 2, and if we go to index 3, it's outside of the array because it ends at index 2. So that's why we use it as a stopping point. And then we want to increment I so we can go through the whole array. So then we're going to do sum because we want to add each value of the array to sum. So sum plus equals the R at index I, and that's it. And then we'll return the sum. Real simple. So this iterator is gonna go through each index of the array and add it into sum. So the array that we had up there was 1, 2, and 3. So at index 0, it'll add 1 to sum. So the value will go from 0 to 1. Then it'll add 2. So it'll be 3. And then it'll add 3. And it'll be 6. And then by that time, we'll be at index 3. It'll break out of the loop. And then we'll return the integer sum. Okay, so we'll run code. This run code function is good to test out syntax errors, which I do have one. Something's wrong with r.length. So I have to import a class. Or is this not a method? So it's showing me that something's wrong with the length method I used to get the size of the array. I actually don't remember. Like I said, I'm kind of rusty. Oh yeah, so it actually wasn't a length. Okay. I'm sorry, it actually wasn't a method in that class. So initial sample test, we passed it. We're getting the proper outputs. So now we can just submit the code. And there it is. That one was really easy. We'll jump into another one. See these easy algorithms, they're kind of a lot of fun. You get they're quick to solve and you get a satisfaction from solving them. Obviously, I'm still fairly new, so with time I feel like these easy problems are going to be kind of boring, and then that's when we'll challenge yourself a little bit more with a medium. And at times we might get frustrated, but it is what it is. Okay, so it's a very big sum. Okay, yeah, I think this is the one I read before. Yeah, it was. So here we're going to be dealing with bigger numbers. So it's going to be the same concept as the last problem. We're going to get an array, I believe. Yeah, so this one's going to be a little bit different since the numbers are so much bigger. They're going to separate them by a space. Oh, no. Okay, yeah. So this is going to be the input. These are the 5 values in the array, and we're just going to need to add those 5 together. This first number is telling you how many elements are going to be in the array. I'm not sure why they included that. This is something that's passed through the array. No, it's not. So see here, since we're using bigger numbers, we're going to be using the variable long. I mean the data type long. Oh, it's the way they initialized it. So in their main method where they run their tests, they initialize the array of long in here, so they need the number of values that's going to be in the array. All right, so once again, I'm going to kind of comment what I'm going to be doing in this program. It's going to be almost exactly the same as the last one. Actually, exactly the same, just different data types. So we're going to do long, or sorry, track. We'll do great. For the sum of the array. And then we need to iterate through the array again. And finally, we're going to return the sum with a little note to use long, just in case. All right. So variable for the sum, we're going to be using long sum. I'm going to start with 0. Now the loop, same thing as the last one. Last time we learned that length is not a method. So we're going to do the sum and add the value at index I in the array R. And finally, we'll return the sum. See? Yeah, looks good. So now, initial code test. So it looks good. Got the proper result on the one sample case. All right. So now submit. Boom. There we go. So another cool thing, back in college, I honestly used to love going to this site between classes. I mean, I probably could have spent more time studying for my actual classes, but getting myself warmed up with these problems kind of got me hyped. Especially these easy ones. I mean, these easy ones help me build a little bit of momentum, and it'll probably allow me to take on and challenge harder problems. It kind of gives you a little bit of reference experience of you being able to solve stuff, and it makes you think that when you're solving those harder problems, you're like you remember back to the time you're solving these algorithms, and you're like, man, I can do it, Okay, so diagonal difference. All right, this one looks a little tougher or more tough. I don't know which one to use, but yeah, I'm gonna save this till next time. So yeah, you guys got a little bit of perspective. I made a really, really simple mistake. These two problems were very easy, and we'll take on a little bit of a harder challenge next time. All right.